Good morning, welcome back to the Breakfast Show, the show worth waking up for, with myself, Sasha, and Aisha. I always have to say that slowly so I don't, fuse everything together. Now, I know a lot of people suffer from lower back pain, hip problems, knee joint problems. So I think a lot of time what happens is, oh, my back hurts. Okay, let me go and see what's wrong with my back.
Yes.
But also another cause could be from your feet.
Yes, and a lot of people don't put much thought into it, but all of our feet are meant to have a sort of a medium kind of an arch, and that acts sort of like a suspension, a cushioning, and to release the pressure on our joints when we walk. But a lot of Asians, I'm not going to say just Malaysians, a lot of Asians, and maybe in this part of the world, have flat feet. And let's find out why, what can be done about it, and of course, what are the long-term effects on us. So joining us here today are Dr. Edmund Lee, who's the Managing Director of MyORTHO Foot Care, and also Ms. Emily Lee, who is the Operations Manager of Dr. Kong Footwear.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
I would love to be here.
Okay, first things first. Flat feet.
Yeah,
Yes.
How do you know, okay, yes, so their feet are flat, but I think some people would say, well, aren't our feet supposed to be flat?
No, it's basically flat feet is not disease, and what we consider flat feet is considered deformity that most Asian people has, and our God has designed a normal feet should have an arch, as well as as the day goes by, is probably wearing improper shoes or probably in different types of footwear has caused us flat feet. Yeah. And in terms of flat feet, later on, it will cause probably knee pain and back pain.
So what you've got
well.
there, that's like a little model of a flat foot. Now, could you show us a normal
foot?
How it's supposed to look?
Well, basically, it should have a normal arch there in this position.
Can we make it a comparison on camera?
See. So this is a flat foot. So yeah, obviously flat, but this is one with a slight arch underneath.
You can see that.
Yeah, see?
All right.
Yeah, see. So this is, we should all have a little bit.
Now, you mentioned just then a lot of Asians probably have this problem because of the lack of shoes, maybe, because in Asia we don't wear shoes in the house, as compared to the West, where they, and the weather, they wear a lot of closed shoes.
Basically, in terms of formulation, is the barefoot concept, and basically we don't wear shoes all the time.
And we wear slippers a lot, right?
Yeah, we wear our slippers all the time, and which causes that is just as time goes by, the arch basically get lower as well.
But if you were to talk about evolution and go way back, you know, man back in the day didn't really wear shoes.
Yeah.
So is shoes something that I think people kind of created throughout the years? Then shouldn't we naturally supposed to not be wearing shoes, therefore more prone to flat feet?
Well, basically it's different types of in those days.
Yes.
Our basically land is different, and now we have concrete floors, rings and tiles, and which causes damage to our feet much more as well. So for younger children, basically we need to protect them so that you won't get basically prevention for flat feet.
Right, okay. So now, once we've established, okay, so we do have flat feet, what are some of the side effects or other things that can be caused by flat feet?
Well, basically in terms of flat feet, will cause us a lot of knee pain or even back pain as well. But most commonly, those with flat feet, they have the pain around that medial arch area, which they will tend to pronate even more. Yeah, and later stages, they will aggravate basically more to medial side knee pain.
Now, of course, there are a lot of shoes or insoles that you can use to help reduce this problem. Could you tell us a little bit about that, Emily?
Yeah, sure. We today here, as you can see, we have 3 different type of colors from the insole that you can see. Actually, these Dr. Kong shoes, these are the school shoe. You know, they come in with 3 different type of insole with different color. Actually, they come in with different arch degree of support, as you can see from the side. The blue color, which is the minimum one, which is only 0 degree. Okay. Just to give the foot the minimum of support. And then the second will be the green color one, so which is a 4 degree. And then we have the red color, which is the 6 degree.
So I mean, if you've got a flat foot, which one would you be using?
Yeah.
The higher degree or the lower?
When we look at flat foot, Dr. Lee will know more. They actually look at mild and then moderate, and then severe, yeah? So we're looking, if it's a very mild one, we will go to very minimum, which is from 0 to 4. These two, which is blue and green. But when we look, looking at severe, we look at the red. Probably we give the 60.
Now, how would you, is there like a specific test that one can take to find out how your, you know, the pronation or how severe is your flat-footedness, if there is such a word?
Our basic test is like what we do at the retail store or with Dr. Kong. What they do is a basic assessment using a podometer, basically looking at what's your foot type or basically your arch type as well. And in our clinic, what we use is basically with a gait analysis or probably we've been using X-ray as well to determine how's the arch height as well. So looking from the mild, moderate or severe type of flat feet. And which that is like will determine basically how severity of the flat feet as well.
Now, I know a lot of women listening, and I'm thinking of this as well. We love our high heels. Now, we know, okay, fine, yes, high heels are not good for your lower back, you know. However, it is not acceptable to work in places like banks or law firms or whatever, going in wearing slippers or sneakers. You know, you still need to wear, you know, the corporate style heels and all that. What can women who are, you know, maybe have flat feet, but they do need to wear those kinds of shoes for work reasons? What alternatives can they look at?
Well, we never stop ladies, beautiful ladies, to wear high heel shoes or fashionable shoes. But most important thing is like when they wear their high heel shoes, give their feet a rest. Basically, an hour, probably half an hour of a rest. And second thing is like can they do is making a orthotic insole to put in the high heel shoes to support them.
And there are those that are available.
Yes, yes.
Now, recently, I've got a 3-year-old daughter and she absolutely loves wearing flip-flops. And recently I was told that this is really not good for your child and the foot development, with it being still very small. So what I did was I went out and bought her a proper pair of shoes. Now, please tell us a little bit more about that. What can we do to try and avoid our children to grow up and have probably the same condition as we do? And what kind of shoes should we look out for? What should we avoid when it comes to children?
When we're talking about shoes, these are the criteria that you really look into. Number one, we will look at here. Actually, you press it. This is hard.
So that's got to be hard?
Yeah, that got to be hard. That is what we call hard heel counter. So what does it do is it will stabilize the heel bone. So it will stop it going outwards. So what we call that...
severe pronation.
Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, the shoes itself, you can see, you can bend, but you can only bend the forefoot, not the arch area. So this is to support the arch from collapsing.
All right.
So this is number one. Number two, inside here, well, we are actually looking for the shoes to come in with the orthotic insole, which these are quite general to prevent the children having flat foot.
Oh, so you choose the shoe first, and then you decide which insole to go in, okay. And there's also smaller ones as well, because Aisha and my son, we're about that size still. So we're not there yet. We're still there. So they also can have, you know, little insoles for them.
Yes,
feet
they
as
all
well.
come with them. So actually it's from the range from baby until elderly.
Oh, okay.
All right, so they are actually specific kind of shoes that suits the child, and of course kids who are learning how to walk or learning how to crawl. So they are specific shoes. There you go. So this is
so cute.
It is actually kind of cute. Yes. So that, now I understand why there is that.
Yeah, and there's the hard part at the back as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so the hard part at the back, and then with the sole inside. Yeah.
Now I noticed though there are three little, you know, shoes or real feet that you brought. Now, of course, today we're actually talking about the flat feet, but there is an extreme opposite, which is a high arch, and this is not a common thing here in Malaysia, though.
Oh, well, not normally. It's like for our Malaysians, like looking at populations, about like 10 to 20% people with high arch, and normally with high arch would cause a lot of like back pain, or probably when they walk, they get easily ankle sprain as well. Basically, they're walking at the side.
So
position.
this way is pronation, this way is supination, right? So that's the supination
the opposite,
way.
the supination. Basically, they walk sideways, and mainly with this type of people, it's like when they run, they get easily ankle sprain, and it's like they get a lot of severe back pain later stage in their life as well.
So same old story. Either extreme is no good.
No.
Balance is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Now, what purpose does this arch serve, though?
Well, it's, with the arch, what we call the arch, and the most important thing is for shock absorption. And this one lady was mentioning is like for ventilation. It's not really true. But main thing is like for shock absorption. Yeah, which when we tends to walk, we need that arch to really absorb all the shock. And so they will reduce the stress to the knee and back as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Now, apart from the kind of insoles that you can use, is there any other treatment that one can undergo to actually correct this?
Exercises, or in extreme cases, is there surgery?
Yeah.
Yes. Basically, three main things. We always non-surgery approach before you think of surgery, and three main things that the patient or probably a customer should do. Basically, choosing a proper shoes, as like the shoe selection or proper footwear is very, very important. And the second one is doing a lot of like wearing orthotic insole, a suitable orthotic insole. And the third and the last thing is like doing a lot of stretching. Muscle stretching is very, very important. And a lot of people neglect the calf muscles. With the calf muscles, it does influence to the feet.
I see.
If you get tightness of the calf muscles, it's like you will get later stage, basically flat feet or even foot pain
Also
as well.
tendinitis, you can also get from that as well.
There you go. See, now this is a very, like we mentioned, it's a very common condition that affects a lot of Asians. So now, if you have any questions at all, you can give us a call and ask Dr. Edmund Lee or Ms. Emily herself. The phone number to call is 0355690349. It's on the screens right now. You can call now, 0355690349. Ask us any questions you like.
Yep. So, I mean, for me, I have a bit of a personal experience as well on this. Many years ago, I was also suffering from, slight hip pains as well, and someone told me, oh, just go and get a pair of orthotics, and I started wearing them, regularly, and within a few days, my hip pain was gone, and they also felt a lot more flexible. It didn't feel so tight anymore. But again, I'm also in the same situation where nowadays it's more appropriate for me to wear at least some sort of heel for work.
Right.
So what can I do besides the orthotics, and what are some exercises that maybe I can do?
As I mentioned, it's like calf stretching is very important, and even like in the morning is like tiptoeing exercise.
All right.
And basically doing toe crunching exercise that you can do at home.
Also, put your feet flat out, and then crunch your toes.
Crunch the whole thing.
And then release.
Yes.
And what does that do? That pulls up in the arch?
Basically, what it does is like it's trying to strengthen the arch. And strengthen the muscles around their feet as well.
So for ladies out there who regularly wear high heels, whether it's for work or for fun or for fashion statement, calf stretches are very important, beginning and end of the day. Second is toe crunching.
Yeah, toe crunching.
Yeah, and also another thing I've heard is switch up your shoes as well. For example, don't wear the same pair of shoes 2 days in a row.
Yes.
Wear different types of shoes, different heel heights, different length. And of course, if you know you're going to be walking to the LRT station, take out a pair of ballet flats from your bag and change into them, and try and put orthotics in those as well.
Yes, I was going to suggest, or back in the day, I would suggest, bring a pair of flip-flops along. But no, now we know that is actually one of the biggest reasons why a lot of Asians do have flat feet. There you go. So, back to children and the proper footwear. So the things that you should look out for when it comes to choosing proper footwear for your child is something that has a hard
heel counter,
hard heel counter. That means it's hard at the back. It's better, of course, it straps across the ankle. And you'd want something that has a slight flexibility in the front of the foot of the shoe. And of course, on the inside, it will be to have some sort of a little heel protection or some sort of a support. So there you go. Flip-flops is definitely out of the question.
Now, also earlier we had a quick phone call. Someone said they had an accident, and that they were wondering if wearing shoes like this is appropriate for someone who has suffered an accident.
Well, it depends what accident he has, like what sort of deformity that he has. What we suggest is like he has to come through basically assessment And in terms of orthotics, what the main thing is to try to support what deformity he has. Which a lot of people doesn't really understand. Is like for any under 15 years old, we can still correct the children. Anything above 15, we can't really correct the children. Well, this is main thing is what you do that at home. Like you just imagine if your young tree has fallen down, what do? This is basically putting a steel on to support it and to correct it. For younger children, we can still correct our flat feet.
All up to 15?
Yeah, 15 years old. It's like 15 and 16, their bone structures to adulthood.
Now, in extreme cases, what have you seen to be some of the causes of flat feet? We're talking about very extreme case here.
Well, the extreme cases for children and for adults as well is like what we call there's a posterior tibial tendon. There's one tendon is holding the arch. Has basically what we call dysfunction, which is not working. Yeah, it's due to accident reason or due to basically arthritis reason as well, which causes the whole thing has collapsed, what we call severe pronation and severe
Is
flat
that
feet.
like what we're seeing on the
like
screen? Wow, yeah, that is pretty bad because you can barely see the side of the heel anymore.
Then the later part in their life is like there's one particular protruding bone, navicular. You get a lot of eruption around the flooring or shoes. They get a lot of, then later stage they will get severe arthritis.
So those are the kind of situations where you need to actually undergo some sort of a surgery to have it corrected.
Yeah, that's the later stage when the doctor will basically, orthopedic doctor will decide they need to do a surgery. Yeah.
Can also it lead to bunions as well?
Yes, in terms of flat feet will cause the bunion, the tendency. The reason why whenever tends to pronate in this position, the forefoot has to go opposite direction.
To balance it out.
Yeah, to balance it out.
See, and all this while I thought bunions were caused by shoes that were a bit too narrow.
That's one factor as well.
I see, it's also because
But the
of
second
pronation.
factor is like basically the pronation, flat foot, who causes the bunion.
Just to establish for our viewers as well, a bunion, from what I understand, please correct me if I'm wrong, a bunion is when there's an inflammation of this joint here, and therefore it, and then in some extreme cases, it needs to be surgically cut back as well.
Well, basically the orthopedic doctor will basically doing a realignment of the first toe.
Now, Dr. Edmund, we actually have a caller on the line who has a question for either one of you. So let's take the caller. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
I'm Anne here.
Hi.
I don't know whether I'm going to ask the right question, but regarding, some feet where the toe is inverted inside due to prolonged use of high heels,
The bunion.
the toe, it overlaps inside. Now, do you have any shoes to help this kind of feet? Because when it turns in, there's some kind of, what do you call it, the bone structure which comes out.
Yes.
So, do you have any shoes to help this kind of people? Because I realize through prolonged, if you don't take care, the toe can really touch the other toe, the fourth toe. It looks very ugly.
Thank you very much, Anne.
Thanks.
Thank you. I think
Thank you very
first
much.
things, there's no such thing as a right or wrong question, but thank you very much. We're actually talking about that right now, the bunion. So are there any shoes that can actually help
Well,
that?
the first thing is like I'll suggest her to get her feet assessed, is like see is that the tight shoes or even her flat foot or even the pronation has causes the bunion. Well, I'm suspecting she has the bunion as well. And yes, we would recommend like to measure her forefoot width. Is like there's basically 2E and 3E shoes that can choose. Yeah, and we're doing like wearing a hair like valgus splint, and third thing is like they have to do a lot of toe stretching as well. Yeah, basically widen up the toes to strengthen up the toes muscles. Yeah, and the last result will be surgery.
Of course, yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us here on the show. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have benefited a lot from all of that information. Again, there you go. You never know what your back pain, your hip pain could actually be coming from your feet. So do take a look at your feet. If you're not sure, go to one of the shops and you can easily get shoes for yourself, for your family, and look into getting orthotics as well. And I don't know, definitely I'm going to be looking for the high heel orthotics after this. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily and Dr. Edmund. Okay, then we're going to take another quick break here on The Breakfast Show. But coming up next, this is what we have.